Alright, welcome back. This is the last video. This is more of the advanced features. I'll be going through several features that wouldn't necessarily be used, but can be really helpful for your project. The first one we're going to go over is what's known as the block quote. Now, if we go to our About To page here, you can see I've got a title here, test, and then I've got my text box down here. Now, a block quote is just a different type of text box. It's usually used to sort of separate the quote from the main body of text. This will indent your text and sort of allow you to, put in a link. It's used a lot during long documents where you want to quote either from another website, maybe from a source. You can then put this in, and it sort of just separates it out so people will understand that this isn't part of the main body of text. This is a quote. That's why it's called a block quote. It's fairly helpful. You can get sort of the same process using just the regular text box if you just indent everything. But this is just a quick and handy way to do it relatively easily. The next piece that we're going to go over is what's known as polls. These can be very useful. I will drag the poll option in here, and it'll immediately set up a poll. Now, this is run through a separate program called PollDaddy. Now, I had already set up a basic poll called test, but I'm going to create a new poll just to show you guys. So I'm going to make this one test 2. And in this, you are given several columns to add answers. I'm just going to make it very simple: yes and no. And I'm going to then save my poll. Now, I can go through and change the default style. They have several default styles that are to choose from. These I would stick with. Just find one that you like and use that. This one here sort of matches our background. You can also design your own custom style, but it's a bit more difficult, and I'm really not going to go over that for this project. If you'd like to get into that yourself, by all means. Now, from there, you will then save your poll and then add to page. So now I have my poll added to page. Once again, we can center the poll, change the margins. I am going to then publish my website because you really don't have much functionality on it, well, the way it is right now. If I hit publish, and then go to my test website, go to my test page, and here's my poll. And I can vote, and it pops up saying, look, thank you for voting. Right now, currently 100% of the votes, which is only one, say yes. You can also make a comment. So if I wanted to, I could go and leave my name, your website, and so forth, and submit a comment to this test. That function can be removed using PollDaddy if you really don't want to have comments or enable comments. But for the most part, the Facebook stuff here is by default because PollDaddy wants to make money off from it, so they'll put that in there. And you can then just return to the poll, and you could vote again. Next thing we'll go over is social icons. So on this, it will allow you to put in things like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or an email. You can also add other icons if you want to do more, like YouTube, Yahoo, Vimeo, RSS feeds, and so forth. Or you can also just remove them by clicking and deleting. You can put in a specific Facebook page or Twitter account and get access to those feeds via Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn so that people can then go visit a separate site. Maybe it is a group site that is dedicated to educators, or maybe a cooking site that is just dedicated to cooking different types of quiches. I mean, whatever you want. But this will allow you to link to those different groups so that you can go right from your web page to their Facebook page or to their Twitter account. The next piece we'll talk about is a survey. Now, you might be thinking, what's the difference between the poll and survey? Well, unlike the PollDaddy, this is something that will only go to you. So you can edit, just like you would any of the text boxes, enter in your title, change and edit any of these boxes here and delete, remove, get rid of any of the parts that you want to. You can add different entries. Under here, under form options, you can get more pieces or more things that you want to add to the project. You can change the name, and you can also change where the submissions go. Because unlike the poll, where it sort of shows up on your website, this, every time somebody hits send, will go directly to you. It'll go to whatever email address you put on there. You can put in a confirmation, so they get a little message when they're done. You can put in a submit button, change where that's located. Now, each of these sections have their own separate options field here. So you can change the question itself. You can check whether or not it is required. You can put in special instructions if you want to have instructions on there. And then you can edit the options. So in this, you can add a bunch of different options in here, change them, and it basically just acts like a multiple choice question. Now, once you're done with this, you can hit save, and it'll show up on your website. Next, we're going to look at a feed reader. This is like an RSS feed. In this case, it will give news stories from whatever website that the RSS feed is subscribed to. In this case, it will default right to the CNN.com with their top stories. If you want to choose anything else, you can usually go to the website, and if it offers an RSS feed, you can usually just Google it. So if there's some educator site that does news for educators that you want to use, you can simply Google that RSS feed, usually just whatever the name of the site is, RSS feed, and it will then give you a URL that you can copy and paste onto your website right here in the feed address. Once that's copy and pasted, it will provide an auto-updating list of links and potential summaries of those stories on your website. You can change some of the options here. You can change the width and height. So we could make it much larger if we needed to. If we wanted to just take up less space, we can make it very thin. We can change the position, so we can have it centered depending on how you want to put it. You, of course, can change spacings and advance just like anything else. The last piece would be forums. Now, this one's a bit more tricky to set up. On the forum, you drag and drop it in, and it will automatically set you up as the new member and as the admin. Now, there really isn't a whole lot you can do from this page. You can edit your profile, you can change your signature, you can add an avatar, so if you want to put a picture of yourself or whatever it happens to be, you can add that in. And under the main page, now one of the drawbacks of using the freeform of the forums option on your website is you can only have a total of 5 topics. That's it. You'd have to upgrade and sign up to as a pro in order to actually get the full options. Now, with the forums, once we publish the website, you can then see the forum option down here. Now, you'll automatically be signed in under your account here for the forums. So if I hit sign out, you can then sign in or sign in with Facebook and set up a new account if you're a new member. Now, as the admin, you do get some options. So you can click on the forum admins page. You can change the site names. You can change the forums, add new ones. In this case, you can add a name, add a description. You can change the access. And like I said before, you are limited to 5 public forums. You can, under members, you can see who here is the admins, who are moderators, which would be people that have the ability to ban or delete posts. You can have banned members, so if somebody is not following the rules, you can kick someone out. And then you can see all the members that are currently on there. There's an upgrades page, which mostly is just, buying a subscription to the website itself, but that's up to you if you want to get more into this or if you want to add more forums. For right now, I don't think there'd be any reason to have any more than what's currently here. So that's it for the more advanced features. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a comment on the class website for this project. If you have any other questions, you can see my email is right here, mrparksbio@gmail.com. So feel free to send me an email to ask any of the questions if you have anything specific you want to know about the web designer, or if you have any questions or get stuck anywhere. So thank you very much for watching, and you should be all set now to build your website for this project. Best of luck.